Hi, I'm Joan, and I just absolutely must tell you about this great container. There are some really awesome genetics that are huge in this container that are so easy to take care of and are favorites of pollinators. So, right before my very eyes is a really, really cool Cleome. Cleome Clio Magenta. It's awesome. Such a delicate flower, but yet so durable. We had an absolute downpour last night. We have had extremely high temperatures, extremely high humidity, and the Cleome Clio has held its shape and held its place in this container in an outstanding way. Old-fashioned varieties of Cleome have a strong scent and they're kind of thorny. And this plant is thornless and there's a little bit of a scent to it, but nowhere near like any of the old varieties of Cleome. I really don't need a centerpiece or a height element in this container because this Cleome is it. There's 4 plants in this container, and you can just see how massive they can be. Now, poking out underneath, we have our Ageratum Monarch Magic. I love this plant because it does exactly what the name implies. It attracts monarch butterflies. And I just love seeing them in my yard, enjoying the Ageratum. And I just happen to have milkweed on my property to make sure that they have a place to reproduce. So the best of both worlds, we have the gorgeous Ageratum Monarch Magic for their nectar, and then of course making sure that we have the milkweed so we can have more monarchs in the future. Now the really neat thing about Monarch Magic, again, this is one plant. Look at the size of that. It holds its shape, it holds its place in the container, and it really doesn't need to be deadheaded or treated in any way for any removal of the older flowers because there's some back here, but the plant just has a tendency to keep growing forward. And so therefore, no maintenance necessary, perfect for butterflies. Next to it, we have the Alternanthera purple prince, and it certainly behaves itself in a princely manner. Just perfect on each corner, nice, tight habit, holds its shape, blends well with the other plants, takes up space in the container, and just cascades nicely down. No maintenance again. And I think one thing you really do need to remember, look at that great purple color with the lighter green young leaves. You don't always need flowers to have color. Foliage can be a beautiful color piece as well as bright blooms. So again, I really have nothing to do with either of those genetics as far as maintenance goes. And peeking out in every corner is this gorgeous Salvia blue chill. Salvia blue chill is a relatively aggressive salvia, but in this composition, the Cleome is the large plant, and it holds its place, but yet is kept in check by our larger friend here. But everything still works in quite a harmonious manner. Again, very, very simple for me to maintain. Quite the statement piece for any visitors or anybody driving through the neighborhood. Easy, enjoyable, and this great container is so, so friendly to pollinators. Things to keep in mind, of course, when you have something so large, even though it is in such a big container, I make sure that I water my plants daily to make sure that I can keep pushing the sizable growth. We fertilize every 7 to 14 days. What type of fertilizer, you might be thinking? Whatever you prefer. I simply use my Miracle Grow because it's easy and I can do it on the run. But if you prefer something organic, it doesn't matter. Just make sure that you fertilize your plants because they're contained. They can't get down into the earth and acquire natural nutrients that might be course, in the soil. So we have to make sure we provide those nutrients. Just a little bit of information about soil. So my containers are big. They're very, very big. It takes me several large bags to fill them. And a little bit of something that I do is I will fill the bottom of large containers with, say, inverted pots or maybe capped milk jugs. Something to kind of take up that space so that I can, invest wisely in more plants and not fill the entire container with soil. But soil is really important, and I make sure that I use a very good light and fluffy potting mix. I do not use topsoil. I know it's more of an investment to use a great potting soil, but invest in your roots, and your roots will just give you dividends of flowers.